Good day, I hope you're doing well. This is Programming 7311, POE Part 2. So this system is essentially for a logistics company called TechMove. Their entire job is just managing the services and booking services of cargo flights. At least that's how I've set this program up. I'll first take us through a walkthrough of the application before further discussing the actual elements of this project, and yeah, how it all builds together, what I've done extra, and so on. So without further ado, as you can see, the program is already running, and then yeah, this is our login page. TechMove up here with the logo. Nothing crazy, just simple design. So what we'll do is we'll go through the full user flow. Okay, so user can register. We will go with Brian as our first user, and then email brian@gmail.com, and there is validation as well for these fields if it's not an email address. And then we also have a password requirement of at least 8 characters. We'll set his password. Now, the country is quite important, and I'll explain this later. So we have a drop down, but we can also search. For purposes of this demonstration, we will, let's do Kazakhstan. Okay, and we will register. Now, what will happen is we have been taken to the login page. We can save the credentials, and then we have Brian. Okay, log in, and this is our dashboard. We have our lovely welcome message. We can close this, and my contracts, book a service, and flight map. So how I've set up this system is a client must first request an agreement, and therefore we have this page, and that uploads a contract before he's able to book a service. You do need a contract to be eligible to book a service. Okay, so in saying that, Brian first has to create a contract. We can set the date. We'll do it from today up until, say, June, 14th of June. He selects a service level. We'll do premium, and then select a PDF to upload. We will upload this checklist. Just as an example, we'll submit the agreement request and agreement requested successfully, sorry. Now you can see the status is pending. So this means you can still not book a service. You need an active contract. Okay, nothing's on dashboard because this is the services and flights. Now, the admin side of things. Admin at TechMove. So please take note that there is some data currently on the system. We go to, this is just all the flights. Go to all contracts, and here we have all of our contracts. For one contract on hold, one active, and this one we've just created, Brian, which is pending. So, as you can see, there's a couple of conditions for contracts. We'll set it as active. There we go. Now, we've got our clients page, just client management. We can obviously search and filter. Search for Brian, there he is. And obviously we are also here admin. Something else to keep in mind, all staff users are seeded. Well, there's only one staff user, as you can see, while all the other users are just normal clients. We go over to currency rates. Now, this page obviously uses the API Open Exchange, which gets real-time currency exchange data, updates every 60 seconds. We also have a filter here, so we've got all 142 currencies. Now, we can obviously filter for what currency we want. Today we've got Kazakhstani Teng, lovely stuff. And yeah, we can just keep searching for these different currencies. That's how that works. Flight map we'll get to. That's also my unique feature that we've added. Now that we've enabled or activated Brian's contract. Oh, one more thing, we can download the PDF. Here it is, and it is the same file. Beautiful. Where does that PDF go to? At the moment, uploaded contracts here. This is the new one. Okay, for unique UUID. Next up, we'll log out and we're logging back into Brian's account. As you can see, still no services. However, we go to contracts. His contract is active. This means he's eligible to book a service. So, from country. Again, you can search any country. As you can see, you can search for any country and filter, but it auto selects your current country, or the country you registered with at least. These fields are pulled from registration, and I've also had it set up that whatever country the user registers with, it automatically pulls the currency that that country uses. This is important, which I'll explain in a bit. But let's say this service will fly goods from Kazakhstan all the way to, let's say, Brazil, for example. What will Brian be transporting? Say gold, for example. Read-only field. So why is this important? Because if a user registers from their country, they're used to their currency, they understand the worth of their own currency, right? So then when they enter the cost, which is obviously not how the system's supposed to work, but when they do, they actually have a concept of how much the actual service costs. And the currency conversion, which actually has purpose in the system, happens on the staff side of things, which I'll also show in a bit. But cost in local currency is just say 50,000. We'll book the service. There we go, in my services flights, description from Kazakhstan to Brazil. And then there we have our currency and amount, status pending. Okay, back to the admin side. There's the newest flight. As I said, the currency conversion takes place on the staff side. The currency was KZT. Here we have ZAR-Pay for every single thing. Okay. Can change the status of these as well. Loading, departed, arrived, delivered, withheld, and rejected. So we will select this as departed. Other than that, there is one nice feature that I've added to this program. Aside from the subtle UI differences from client and staff, which just shows the role difference, what we'll also do is just to quickly display again if we do on hold for, for Brian's contract, he will not be able to book another service because his contract is on hold, as you can see. The last thing which I will show is the flight map. So flight maps for clients are obviously limited just to the client. This is using leaflet.js, which was made by a Ukrainian. But yeah, as you can see, we have Kazakhstan over here and the flight up until Brazil. You can click on the node and then it's departed. You can see from where to where the cargo as well as the amount paid in their currency as well as ZAR, South African Rand. Go to admin side, as I said, there are other things here as well. So just to better display how this looks, go over to the flight map, and these are a bunch of flights from different clients. Same thing as before, you click on any node and it will provide the information. Okay, I'm pretty proud of how this turned out. Obviously these are straight lines, but it's okay. So the staff dashboard shows all flights from all clients, and then once a service is completed with delivered, you can see it has been removed. This flight from Kazakhstan to Brazil has been removed. And that is a quick walkthrough of the entire system. Now, moving on to the code side of things. Obviously, as I said, here in the DB context, we have one seeded admin user. And then we have our free seeded clients, for example. This is the general structure: name, email, password hash, country, and then is staff is how I have set this up. Okay, next up, let's just take a quick look at the client controller. Please take note of the comments and code attribution in most applicable classes. Yeah, okay, displays contracts, request agreements, and so forth. Next up, we have I'll show the unit testing in a bit. I actually want to show a bit more of the flight map which I included. So staff and client's flight map is about the same, only staff displays all flights where client only displays his own. Styling, and then here we go, we've got some hard-coded values, and every single country has its latitude and longitude coordinates here. And this is so that the system knows when a user selects a country from and to, that it knows exactly where to drop the pin on the map. So every single country which is selectable has its coordinates here, an alias, and so on. A bunch of JavaScript. Moving on, we have our contract service. This is how the contract is handled. Also, obviously, only PDF files are accepted. And reference lists at the bottom of each class, which I'll also just show. Staff controller, all the applicable classes have the same service. So I'm just quickly running through. Each model has its own purpose and so on. Contract service I just mentioned. Currency service is another important one. So every single currency has its code and its full name, as you saw in the currency rates page. And it's just to link everything. And we have obviously the country catalog as well. Basically the same country names with their associated currency codes. So I do believe that this made for a nice user experience. We can also run the unit test real quick. So run test, there we go. And then please take note of the tests. So tests are everything from the actual currency conversion to checking if a non-PDF file can be uploaded and so on. GitHub has a CI workflow, basically just to build and automatically run the tests. What we could do is we can try and run it again. Okay, like I said, let's rerun the job so you can see that it is in fact working. So it's obviously compiles.net, sets up a project, restores it, builds it, and then runs all the unit tests automatically. So if a build fails, it's a build error, obviously. And then if a unit test fails, it's obviously also not good. Just to automate it a bit more and also makes your job easier to ensure that there are no errors. And there we go, you can see total test 17, passed 17 in 4.6 seconds, no warnings, no errors, and build and test has successfully completed. Lovely stuff. Okay, other than that, there isn't much else to this project. Please view the README. And remember that the currency conversion takes place from client side to staff dashboard, with whatever currency they had to South African rands. And I really do hope that this project does look nice. I do believe that it is quite a fun project in terms of how it turned out. Yeah, have a great day further.